Right, so welcome back to morning breakfast session. Today we will talk about the unit CHCDIV003 Manage and Promote Diversity Assessment Task 2. If you look at the header, it says observation. Whenever there is an observation, that means something is being observed. It also means there is a role play. It says here as well. It says on a task name as well, CHCDIV AT201 observation. Okay. Right. Please write your name, student number. When are you doing it? I have been provided. You have to take this thing. That's my name. I'll sign it here. It was done online. That's the email. You can forward it to me. If you're unable to forward this email address, then use my Gmail address. Yeah. For some reason, if you can't support the bigger size file. Yeah. Right. Instructions to student. Before you start this task, you need to be familiar with what you have done in task 1, especially part B. Remember, in part B, we were talking about 3 scenarios. One was Uncle Bob, other was Anna, discrimination, and third one was Nadia, coming back to work, re-entering the workforce, right? So you need to be well versed and at least be aware of what are the scenario, have some information in your mind, and process some of the task 1 thing, right? Not necessarily the final version, but at least get some basic understanding, because that will help you with AT2 task 2, right? Whatever are the important section I highlighted, so it helps you in scheming through the document rather than reading word by word. There are 3 scenarios in this assessment task 2. You will perform role plays where you are the organization's manager to demonstrate your skills and knowledge in managing and promoting diversity in a workplace. So you will assume, or you might be already a manager, but your aim is to manage and promote diversity in the workplace. They are the same 3 scenarios we discussed yesterday: Uncle Bob, Anna, and Nadia. Okay? You may use resources available on My Village and any learner's guide, any other technique. You need to be familiar with any relevant legislation in relation to the diversity, right? That is your task 1, whatever we prepared, all the PPT, the learner's guide, whatever was shared with you. In addition to this, students are to prepare a basic written agenda to follow for the meeting. The preparation of the agenda demonstrates the student has prepared for the meeting. Okay? Classroom student will prepare role play. And that's for the classroom. So that's why, I would go with online. And that's why I made the fonts a bit tiny. So whenever it's tiny, it's with purpose. So you can kind of ignore that. I can't delete it. I shouldn't delete it. But it's not a face-to-face delivery. It's an online external student scenario. And that's why again I highlighted and make the fonts really visible enough. You are required to choose one of these scenarios. So either you can choose Uncle Bob, who is a leader in Aboriginal community, or Anna, she was in discrimination against, the policy and against blocking the word lesbian. And Nadia, she wanted to return to work and she needed some support, How would you accommodate her needs? In your chosen scenario, you will role play the organization manager in both role A and B. So there are again 2 situations. So say, for example, I'm just picking our name, Casper selected Uncle Bob scenario. Then Casper will submit 2 role plays. I repeat, 2 role plays for part A and B, role A and B. I'll tell you exactly what role play A and B are. Okay, we'll come to that. But remember, you are submitting 2 role plays and this Word document where you sign above, write your name and detail. Okay, video record for both your role play A and B. Each video should be about 10 minutes. So when it says 10 minutes, 8 to 12 is fine. You don't have to go too much above 10. I received one video about half an hour. That also proves your inability to make it a shorter version of the video, right? When you are supposed to write a report, the report has to be concise, precise, short enough to capture the attention. Now, the report can be 4 pages as well. Report can be 40 pages as well. It's an ability of a person to minimize or summarize detail in 4 page document, rather 40 page document. Yeah. Same thing goes with the video length as well. So when it says 10, 8 to 12, even max 15 is allowed. More than that is definitely not good. Again, I'll say redoing a task or knowledge question is a lot easier than redoing a role play. So if you submit me a video which is of 20-25 minutes length, then I'll have to ask you this, sorry my friend, you need to redo it again. And that means you have to involve all the person in second round. Very difficult, very difficult. Okay, so when you do it in the first round, make sure you are meeting all the criteria. At the beginning of the video, inform in your recording, so you might say it like, hey, again, I'm picking Casper. Hey, my name is Casper, student number so and so. Again, there is a statement that you must say that this recording is for the purpose of assessment only, and all participant consent being recorded for assessment. I am choosing scenario Akalbo, and then you will start your script or the actual role play. But this is the initial phrase which I mentioned. If you're going for Anna, then you must be, I'm choosing scenario for Anna. If you're selecting Nadia, then you should say that I'm selecting scenario for Nadia. Yeah. Upload both the videos in My Village if it allows. If it doesn't, then you can, as I said, send me via APTC emails or Gmail address. Again, you have 2 attempts. This is all fine. I mean, you can read that if you want. This is my part, so don't worry about it. Let's go to the instruction. Students will simulate the role of organizers manager to meet the requirement. By role-playing role A and B, you will demonstrate your skills and knowledge in managing, promoting. That's the aim. Yeah, you need to prove your competence in managing and promoting diversity. 3 scenarios are provided. Choose one of the scenario. As we have seen earlier, you need to look at actor for both the role play. This may be your classmates, any colleagues, any friend, or family member. When it says friend, your family member as well. Now, with the family member, I allow you to include your kids if they can speak decent English. Not really like 2 or 3 years of kid, that will be really inappropriate. Yeah, anyone who are going to school, from age 8, 10 onwards, your wife, your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, literally anyone. That's a flexibility, right? Literally anyone. Okay. Better to do it with a classmate because you got 16 participants in this room. You help one another, and that's why you can really knock off the task pretty quickly. Okay. Role A, locate one person to role play the employee. Okay, I will underline that. Underline that. Role B, locate at least 2 people to role play the employee. Each role will be paid for approximately 10 minutes. Ensure you read the observation checklist. Now, what is this? When I mark your work, I look at this checklist. I'll tell you quickly what is it. That's here. During the demonstration of skill, did the student satisfactorily do? I will mark when I'm doing it. That's my copy. I won't have to share it with you. Foster and promote diversity. Identify, explain, and legal. So if you're not doing it in your script, then I might have to tell you that, sorry, my friend, you missed this point. So if you've done it, yes, yes. If this not, then I'll say no. Whenever there is one no, it will come back to you. So please write your script very carefully. And you are by all means can refer to the script. Now, how you can do it, I'll just tell you. Let's say, I mean, this is my mobile phone, but I'll just assume it's a piece of paper. That's my laptop, right? I'm reading from here. I'm looking at the screen and saying it. You don't have to have a screen or paper like this. Otherwise, you're not making an eye contact. That means you're not confident enough. The moment you look at the screen where the recording is being performed, then you're showing, demonstrating your confidence. Yeah, not necessarily like this. Even the camera is here, then you can look like this and have something near to that. We got a recording room as well. Get in touch with Karina. She will allow you access to that room. I think it's room 3, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So read this point when you prepare your script. Okay. Demonstrate that they could, as a manager, you could assist, explain policy and procedure, communicate in a legal thing, right? Demonstrate that you identify professional development and that could be good. Yeah, make preparation and conduct meeting with staff. There is some information. Make sure you cover this point during your script. So when you're writing script, you need to ensure that these points are captured, because this is how I'll mark your work. Okay, let's go back up. Read the observation checklist, very important. Okay, for the skills and knowledge you need to demonstrate during the role play, you'll be assessed using this checklist. That's my job. Yeah. Scenario 1, Uncle Bob, the same thing. Yeah, you are the manager at the community-based organization. Is located in a rural community with high Aboriginal population. Many families are related to one another, each other. There are a large number of families living in a poverty, and with this comes a number of issues: illiteracy and lack of confidence, lack of proper communication and all that. Uncle Bob works at the organization. He's a local man, and his family is a traditional landowner, has a wealth of knowledge about the local area and the people from there. I'm reading a bit faster because I already covered this yesterday, right? Uncle Bob is absent from work sometime, as is a local community leader, and has some responsibility which often impact his ability to come to the office. People from community come looking for Bob during the day to help him with the things that arise, like cars not starting, people getting sick, traveling somewhere, in case of emergency. Right? You have heard colleagues complaining about Uncle Bob and making comments about how much work he misses. During the Christmas party, Uncle Bob overheard two employees complaining about him being lazy and having a bad work ethics. So that's a scenario. Now read this part very carefully. It's a part A and B, role play A and B. You are the manager meeting Uncle Bob to discuss the following. So here you need 2 participants, right? I can write here 2 participants. One of them is you, other one participant. Yeah, 2 person required. One of them is you and one more part. I just write in a way so if it helps you. And that's what it says here as well. Look at one person and yeah. So you need to have one more person and at least 2 people who will act as an employee. Okay. Now, what are you discussing? How to plan and support Uncle Bob in his role in your organization. We have already covered this discussion yesterday for task 1, and that's why I gave you time yesterday and a bit in the morning to be familiar with that. Now, it's up to you how you utilize your time. You can use all the time for chit chat or being relaxed around the classroom, or you can use it fruitfully and be prepared for the task. So you are bang, 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 bang. Yeah. Policy and procedure of the organization in relation to diversity and inclusion, laws and legal ramification, and collaborate Uncle Bob to work out a plan to improve his working condition. So when you are preparing your script, you are preparing your script based on this and the observation checklist that we saw here. Okay, that's your part A. Part B, again, you are the manager meeting with Uncle Bob's colleagues to discuss the following. At least 3% required. All of them is you, at least 2 more participants. ends as colleagues. Yeah. And what I highlight is I feel important. You can really ignore what I've highlighted. Yeah. Right. So what you're telling work colleague, Uncle Bob's work colleague who has some issues and he's talking about that, oh, Bob is not sincere, he's missing the work, and because of him, we have to do extra work. And if he's not doing the work, still he is having seniority and blah, 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 right? Policy and procedure of the organization in relation to diversity and inclusion. The same thing here, but this is for Uncle Bob, this is yours. So if that's the same information, it's good. You can repeat what the script for that portion. Laws and legal ramification. Again, the same thing. Create a plan which start outlining how this incident will be followed up. This is different. So you're telling staff members, oh, I understand Uncle Bob misses the work and you are not happy with that, but I'm working on a plan, and you create a plan and tell them that, okay, this is my plan. Yeah. Why? The organization value working with diverse client and colleagues. This is the fourth point. Again, 4 points in each of them. This 2 point I will highlight a bit differently. The same. So that means you can, sorry, not that one. Policy and procedure and laws. Yeah, this two. They're the same. So you can repeat some portion of script, which is great. Reduces your burden. Right. So that's scenario 1. Any questions on that? Yes, no, yes, no. Before I go to the next one. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, just I couldn't hear you. We'll submit the script. So, you can do both, Julius. That's a good question. Sorry, why couldn't I hear that? Let me test my mic and speaker. I knew it was working good, but I'll still test it. Sorry. Yeah, I'm able to. Hello. I'm hearing it well. I couldn't hear what Joseph is saying. Yeah, so going back to Julius, you will also submit script or video. Video is compulsory. It's up to you if you want to, submit the script as well. But that will help me because sometimes the audio quality is a bit poor. So I can't really pick up all the words. But script will help me to pick up the words and mark you correctly. Yep. So I got a question that policies will refer to our organizations. Policy will refer to the community-based organization that you have chosen, because you are talking about their policy, not your policy. But if this community-based organization, which we discussed yesterday, could be your company, right? Like this is more situation-based. So if okay, so I'm not coming to Honiara and saying, hey, Michael, why did you choose this company? This is not an aboriginal company. This is not, I'm not questioning that. Even if you're selecting your telecom company, right, or your organization, you can just say that, okay, that my company support this community-based event. That's it, right? I'm not verifying that minute detail. Yes, that's a good question from Joseph. Is it good, Michael? Yeah. Now, Joseph just asked a question, what should we use to produce this video? There are a couple of ways. You can do Zoom. Zoom will have the recording function, right? You can use your mobile phone, right? Or ask Karina. We have a facility. Normally we keep a camera, but we had some issues with keeping it for longer time over there. So let me just get back to it quickly while we are discussing. I'll come back on that, Joseph. Sorry, it's a good question. Okay, so I just asked her, she'll come back there. Yes, role A, only 2 parties have been required. That's right, so yeah. I mean, you can unmute and ask, that's fine. Okay, so she will. Okay. Okay, we got a room 3 vacant. I'll just check with the camera. Okay. Okay, I'm just checking for the camera. Okay, so she will confirm with you guys whether camera will be provided or not. Like we have a dedicated camera which can be used, but it's just that LinkedIn, who is our marketing fellow, takes it back and provide us when we need. Yeah, but she will confirm with LinkedIn and get back to you guys. So just ask Karina. Room 3 is there, which is like a quiet spare room. So you can use that room for any recording. If your mobile camera is good enough, like I wouldn't need any camera. I'll just switch on my mobile phone, leave it in a designated place, and then get the recording started. Yeah. And I'm sure you know how to record on a camera, right? Like a mobile phone. You can switch like a rear or the front camera mode, right? So if you just leave it on your laptop like this, right? And switch to the front mode, then whatever you are saying is being captured. That's it. Yeah. Right. Yes, Soraya. So role play A, 2 participant, role play B, as I said here, Soraya, again, and to everyone, at least 3%, right? It could be 4 as well. But you know, if I were there in a classroom as a student, what I will do, I'll make a group of we got 16. Yeah, I'll make a group of 4. Right. So for example, Frederick, are you trying to tell me something? I can't hear. Oh, okay. Right. So okay, looks good. Yes. So, for example, I'm just picking 4 names: Casper, Edward, Faith, and Ferris. There are 4 on my list. They'll create a group. They will discuss the script, right? What can be done and discuss the task. Create a group. 2 of them, right? For example, Casper and Edwards will go on a separate table, get done with role play A, while Faze and Ferris get done with role play A, and then we'll swap. In one instant, Faze is a manager and Ferris is Uncle Bob, right? Then they swap the role. Ferris become the manager, Faze become Uncle Bob. Done. Role play A done. Cool. Again, all 4 of you meet and prepare script for role play B, where Casper become the manager and Edward, Faith, and Ferris become the work colleague. Right? And then Edward become the manager, Casper, Faith, and Ferris becomes the work colleague. Then Faith become the manager and rest 3 of your work colleague. Does it make sense? Yeah, just rotate like you rotate in a circle. When we were kids, passing the parcel, one person takes the 10, right? So Casper is the first one who act as a manager, and 3 other people will act as a work colleague. You can choose 2 as well, right? We says minimum 2. You can choose 2 as well. Yeah, makes sense. Any questions on that? Frederick can't hear again what you are. Yes, sorry,
Can you hear me
Frederick.
now?
Yep, I can. Yep.
Okay, just to be clear on the scenarios, we
Mhm.
will have to do both role plays. Is that correct?
Yep. Yep.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. In the first role play, A, there is 2 participants. So again, if Frederick and Faze, for example, I'm just sparing, don't mind it here. Frederick and Faze, if you 2 are good friends, then Faze will act as manager and Ferris will act as Uncle Bob. And then you swap the role. So both of you are submitting as if you are the manager. That's role play A. Role play B, Faze, Ferris, and someone else. For example, Edward, right? Will take turn. Yeah, will take turn in becoming. I can't really. What I can do. Let me go here, right? Let me go for a new sheet, blank sheet, really, right? Um, So let me pick up. So for example, Casper, he is a manager, and Edward is Uncle Bob. Yeah. Then Edward and Casper swap their role. And this is submitted by Casper because he is a manager. This is submitted by Edward because he is a manager. Done. Role A. 10 minutes. Yeah. Here it's responsibility of Casper to write the script. Script is a responsibility of Casper because the person who is submitting will have to do longer work, isn't it? Yeah. He's just observing or supporting, right? Supporting if required, right? Here, sorry, I wrote it wrong. My bad. Not Edward. Edward. Right? Script is written by Edward and Casper is just supporting. Sounds good? Now, when you come to role B, let me go with the minimum scenario. So Casper, Edward, and Face. Right? Casper is the manager, work colleague 1, and work colleague 2. Script is responsibility of Casper, and these two are just supporting if required. Yeah, you will go for round 2, and then you'll go for round 3. Yeah. If this makes sense. Okay. What about responses to the role play? The one person taking that has to be raised. Okay, thanks, Michael. Okay, so you will have to meet the task list. Okay, so I'll come back on that. That's a good question. Okay, so if someone, if you can screenshot this either with your phone or there is a screenshot button, print screen on your this thing as well, right? Take a screenshot of this. Otherwise, you can always go back to the recording and view that. Okay. Now, Michael, just give me 1 minute. I'll come back on that. Okay. Right. Now let me go back to the task. So Michael asked a very good question. Do one person do the talking or there has to be more than one response? Depends on the marking criteria. So if you go back to this, it doesn't specifically ask for it, but it will be really good. Like for example, again, let's go to this task, right? So if Casper is a manager, Uncle Bob is Edward, right? Then Edward will ask some question, isn't it? That will really make it sound like really solid, right? Edward said, but manager, I need this support. How can you support me on that? Just 1 or 2 sentences from Edward will really create like a role play, not like a monologue, like a dialogue talking between 2 people. Mono is 1 person speaking. That's not great. Yeah. Same thing here. Casper is the manager. Edward and Faith are the work colleague who is complaining about Uncle Bob, right? Then Edward and Faith will definitely raise some concern that Casper, manager, it's good that you are listening to us, but how about this? Just 1 sentence. And Casper will respond to that, which, fourfolds capacity of Casper as a leading a team as a manager, isn't it? Yeah, so that will really help. Sometimes in the marking criteria, it specifically says that demonstrate active listening, understand the yeah, yes, that's right. That has to be feedback, right? um, Sometimes it specifically tells up here, it just says which licit bit today, use communication strategy to meet the dialogue. It's only with the person himself, but there is always good to ask some question from the group. And then as a speaker, as a leader, as a manager, you respond to those questions. And if no one asks any question, it can be treated either way, like everyone understood everything or no one understood everything. Yeah, right? So it's great if people are asking some question. Yeah, it will really make it more live. And for 10 minutes, if the other person are not speaking, it will be really hard to justify 10 minutes. You know? Yeah, cool. Any other question for scenario A? I mean, you can always ask any question later as well. Not this is not the end of story, right? When you are doing it, when you're reading it, when you are, um, going through it word by word, then you might feel, oh, what did he say here, right? And then, of course, I'll, once everything is done, I'll stop the recording, get out of Zoom, so Zoom can convert the file which I can upload on YouTube for anyone to have a look. Yeah, cool. Right. Scenario two, same scenario about Anna is employed in a communal department. She states that department is a policy which blocks some email with profanities. Anna said lesbian is on the list and she's offended because she's a lesbian. She complains that she um, been excluded and the lesbian shouldn't be on the exclusion list, right? Shouldn't be treated as a spam email, in other words. The department noted is on a block list word because employee sends an inappropriate spam email which included that word. As a manager, she also, as Anna's manager, that's yourself, she also discussed with you how comments were made in the staff room about her two children and they would be disadvantaged growing with the same-sex parent. Okay, right. Again, some of the things are similar. Policy procedure in the organization in relation to the diversity and inclusion, same thing. Legal and laws and legal ramification, collaborate with Anna to work out a plan to improve her condition. Collaborate with Uncle Bob to work out a plan. Like this is almost same. Rather than Uncle Bob, you're talking about Anna here. The first thing, the way in which Anna has been directly, indirectly discriminated against. This is something that you have to work on. Let me pull up task one quickly. Sorry. You can ignore what I'm doing for a moment. I just wanted to see. Yeah. Explain how NIs experience discrimination both directly and indirectly. That's the same thing, the way in which NI has been directly and discriminated against. So whatever you prepared in your task one is helping you out in the role play A as well, isn't it? Yeah. So you don't have to really work extremely hard, work smart. Okay. That's the same thing. Legal ramification, what action would you do, right? Identify policy. Like if you have done task one, you can literally use it to prepare a script. Like task one is individual question. Up here, you are preparing a two-way communication with Anna. So you need to add some more dialogue to it. But task one will help you. Yeah. Same thing, you are the manager meeting with Anna's colleague to discuss the following policy procedure, laws and ramification, create a plan, staff with staff. Up here was a plan with Anna, right? With outlining how this incident will be followed up and why organization will in working with diverse colleagues and clients. Again, the same thing that you've done in scenario one. Okay. And finally, Nadia's scenario, when Nadia was, her youngest child reached the secondary school, She feel like it's time to take on the new challenge and go back to work. She left school at 15, worked for a couple of years there, got married, raised the kids in different countries. She is confident. She has good project management experience, skills. She's ready to work back. She enrolled in a course, Return to Work, with a local tape, which helped her refresh her general skin and build her confidence. Her major concern was going into organization, looking that stuff that she didn't know, um, and she wasn't confident if she can really write a report and everything. Right? I was lucky because she got a job through her work experience placement, which was a huge boost. And after working for a year on a casual basis, she applied for a full-time case manager position. So that's Nadia's situation. Same thing from task one. Yeah. So even though you are dealing with three different tasks and scenario, 1, 2, and 3 different role play, it's kind of the same thing that you are doing. Yeah. In task one, you are answering those questions. In task two, you are preparing script based on those response and role playing that. Yeah. And simply, like acting as if you are a manager and the people are, Anna or Nadia or Uncle Bob and work colleague. How organization can support Nadia in her role as a full-time manager, policy procedure, how policy relates to state and federal laws, and collaborate with Nadia, how can assist to ease her on her full-time support Nadia in any ways you can. Again, let's go to, same thing. As a manager, how could you make this transition easy, right? How organization can support her, right? Collaborate Nadia, how can assist in a full-time role, right? 3 benefits by having a mature worker, that's right. Up here, how are you demonstrating any flexibility, right? Yeah, so again, the similar thing with Nadia's colleague, strength and benefit Nadia brings as a mature worker. The same thing we have it here, this one, by Nadia as a mature worker. So AT1 question 2 will help you with this policy procedure by diversity, any laws, how staff can welcome Nadia, and why our organization value working with diverse colleagues and clients. Yeah. Let me summarize before I get any question. Please listen attentively, like 100%. You are role-playing 2 videos, 10 minutes each. On one of the scenario, you have 3 choices to make. Now, based on your AT1 response, you will select one of the scenario. Either is Uncle Bob, or is Anna, or is Nadia. Let's say you chose Uncle Bob. Then what you are doing is, you are the manager, role play A, you're meeting with Uncle Bob. As I said here, if that's the situation, I'll again make it bigger if it helps. Just picking up 2 names. Yeah, Casper, one of the participants, will act as a role play in the first round of role play. He will write the script. He will perform the role play. Edward will act the role of Uncle Bob as a supporting character to help Casper to finalize his role play. They will swap the role. Edward becomes the manager and Casper becomes Uncle Bob. You don't have to reveal your identity. Hey, I'm Casper, I'm the manager. You can simply say, I'm the manager of this organization. That's it. Yeah. Edward will say, hey, I'm Uncle Bob working with my manager in this organization. That's it. Right? Role play B. Casper is the manager. Edward and Faze are work colleague 1 and 2. Casper is writing script. This was supporting. Swap the role. Edward becomes the manager, right? Edward goes here, Faze goes here, and Casper come back as a colleague. Same thing. Faze becomes the manager, right? Casper becomes work colleague, and Edward come back here. Yeah, just keep on swapping round and round and round. Okay, right. How we are planning to support him? Again, it is, I believe, from AT1. Yeah. As Uncle Bob's manager, what 2 strategies you can implement to support him and create inclusive workplace? That's the same thing. How you plan to support him? Policy procedure and laws. Right? how can you support? Right? Then we got how do you collaborate to improve the working condition? As I said here in role play B, you are meeting with Uncle Bob's colleague. Same thing, policy procedure in law, create a plan with staff and how organization value diversity and inclusion. Right? About ENA, pretty much similar. Policy procedure laws are the same thing, right? And where how ENA has failed, you can use help from AT1, right? And how you collaborate again AT1. This is about ENA's colleague, policy and laws, pretty much the same thing. Create a plan with staff, of course, create a plan for ENA. And why organization value? Because you're telling your work colleague that, hey, I need ENA because we believe in diversity. This is what our policy says, right? And finally, how laws and policy procedure in relation to how you can support Nadia, how policy helps her in state and federal government, collaborate, how you can assist her, and some strength that Nadia, this is for work colleague, yeah. What strength Nadia brings, as a mature work colleague, as a member, any policy, any laws, how organization can welcome Nadia, and why organization value working with diverse colleagues and clients. Again, I would repeat the main part. Do role play A and B, 10 minutes each. One of the three scenario, write your script, keeping in mind of the observation checklist, right? It should be about 10 minutes, so even 8 minutes is fine, but 3, 4, 5 minutes is too less. Don't even submit me, which is something like 3, 4, 5 minutes. You will be able to see how long is the video. 8-minute class is fine. Okay, and don't go for more than 15 minutes. That could be too long for you as well. Right, any questions? Awesome. Now, if anyone got any doubt, contact Julius because he's very clear. Okay, Julius, they'll come to you. By all means, write in chat, put me an email, the best thing is get your task 1 done, at least get a fair bit of understanding, because that will help you with AT2, right? And then you can start writing script. Okay, if you think you have done phenomenal job in Uncle Bob's situation in task 1, then choose that. If you think, oh, you are very confident with Anna's situation, then go for it. It's up to you what you select. Yeah, sorry, I think Frederick was trying to say something. Frederick or Ferris?
Yes,
Frederick.
thanks. I was just wanted to ask you, when will you be sending us the task to doc file?
I can send you now, my friend. I just needed Peter. I can send you now. Let me stop sharing it. Yeah, let me stop the recording.
Thank you.
I can literally do now. Stop.